Thanks for tuning in to Jam Happy Hour, benefiting Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. I'm Michelle, the M in Jam Sellers, that with my husband John, we started a decade ago. Live music has always been part of our DNA, and it feels great to host you with our easy-to-love wines while also helping musicians in need. Sweet Relief is a non-profit fund that provides financial assistance for career musicians and industry workers who are struggling to make ends meet. Over the past year, we've surpassed our goal of raising $25,000 for the fund. And with your help, over the next 12 months, Jam Sellers is committed to raising another $25,000 for Sweet Relief. Simply listen in, comment, share, or like, and Jam Sellers will donate $1 up to $2,500 per show if you do. Plus, you can click or text to donate directly to Sweet Relief. So pour yourself a glass of butter Chardonnay and get ready to enjoy some new music. Cheers.
Welcome into the Jam Happy Hour. It is my favorite hour of the week. We get to relax, listen to some music, drink some wine, and raise money for a really great cause. And this month we are being joined by Matt Costa, who is a return to the Jam Happy Hour. Welcome back.
Hello. Yeah, happy to be back.
So good to have you here. We're going to have a good time tonight. I'm looking forward to a lot of great music and maybe some stories and raising some money for this really great fun with Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. Jumping right into it, I mean, obviously the last couple of years have been interesting. Have you felt like you've been able to maybe create more than you would have musically? Had everything been the same, or like how's it been for you to like kind of be like a little stationary?
Well, created differently is the thing. I always try to work on stuff, but I think with the being locked down, I had to think of new creative ways and inspiration to work up the music visually, doing music videos and things like that, which I took a more DIY approach to that, and ended up creating a lot of the content for the last record I did at home with Ming Pham. That's my girlfriend, and we did a lot of it here at home, and basically turned the home space into a sound stage. So,
well, I think a lot of us have had to adapt like a little bit in that sense of like, okay, if this is going to be the home base, you're not going into the studios and you're not going into like all the things. Having had that experience, do you feel like the newer music that you guys created in that space and together, is it along the same sound? Is it a different kind of a sound? Is it like being made so uniquely differently? Does it have a different sound than what we're used to?
well, I've always started my songs with just a guitar, and started here with my like 4-track right here. This is like, it wasn't planned. I didn't plan on you asking me this question, but I do have it displayed.
I'm a music
displayed up
nerd.
here.
I got to tell you, I'm an audio music nerd. So I'm looking back here and I'm seeing all that stuff and I'm just like, tell me more.
Yeah, well, this one I started. That's how I started writing songs. Like I had like a normal cassette player, but then I wanted to do more layering and stuff with other guitar parts and harmony. So when I got a 4-track when I was young, then I was able to hear songs evolve more, and so even when I record on the computer or when I have ideas, I've always taken that approach to it. I think that over the last couple years, definitely I've gotten new insight, and I feel that songs have taken on a bigger life than I'd ever imagined. Because when you're only left with your songs and you don't really have social interaction, and that is your social interaction, then they take on something even more meaningful than I realized. So.
Yeah, and especially when you can make them, with someone you love too. That's a whole other layer to it as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of music to get into tonight, and I have so many questions for you coming up. But I know people are here to enjoy you performing and also to raise some money for Sweet Relief. So if you haven't figured out how easy it is for us to donate money on your behalf, all you have to do is like, comment, share. If you have a question, you want to tell Matt how awesome he is. Like it all goes in to donate to this really great fund, benefiting a lot of this industry that has been just so affected, especially over the last couple of years. So please do that and share. And Matt, can we just go ahead and jump in on our first song?
Yeah. Who is it that walks all alone among the ancient trail of thrones? When the avalanche comes, I'm gonna be your friend all the way down. And you might have tried to leave your past. Just remember it's all part of the path. When your bones are earthquakes, I'm gonna be the one to calm you down. You can make it, but don't ask why. Some live and some fall and some die. I can tell you the answer the day the avalanche comes. When the avalanche comes, you gotta be the one to dig it out. Dig it out. Who is it that takes all the blame? Is it always someone the same? When you're walking away, you heard it blowing through the trees, echoing when you turn to see the avalanche come. I was the one who let you down. You can make it, but don't ask why. Some live and some fall and some die. I can tell you the answer the day the avalanche comes. When the avalanche comes, you gotta be the one to dig it out. When the avalanche comes, when the avalanche comes.
I love that. Matt Costa, thank you so much. We're off
Thanks.
and running already in the Jam Happy Hour. So many comments coming in too. I saw Charleston, I saw UK, I saw a bunch of people. I mean, obviously, you've traveled the world quite a few times, playing for people, performing, and we're coming back up on festivals and we're coming back up on tours. And are you ready to get back out there and get back into just like that kind of nomadic lifestyle?
Well, I don't know. I like being at home and writing songs, and I think I'm gonna miss being on stage and seeing the comments. I mean, people can blurt stuff out, but it's really something to see someone write something really heartfelt right in the middle of a song. It's almost distracting in a way, but in a good way. Like sometimes I just, yeah, it kind of helps the music take on a, I don't know. Sometimes it just blows my mind, the connection that it makes to someone over the internet. And
Yeah.
I think it's harder to share that when you're on a stage because you're in the middle of a song and you're just screaming something at me, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying,
What
but
is it?
yes, I
You're the
try to
first
feel
person
you.
I've heard kind of articulate it like that. Because usually, like everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so ready, and I want to get back to that." But honestly, like between the last 2 years of like doing these interviews and doing these performances, I feel like in a weird way we're more connected than we've ever been before for
Yeah,
moments like that.
I agree. I think as far as even performing and stuff too, I think I was really reluctant to sit in front of a computer and just like
Mhm.
stare at the screen as I'm doing
Hi.
music. But yeah, I know I was. But then during that time, I really started to enjoy it, and like for that reason, getting some real feedback in real time when it was the only way possible. So I think I definitely will take that feeling and have a new appreciation when I play live on tour. And yeah, I really enjoy that side of it, the connection between the songs and people and communication in that
It
way.
has
So
been very unique in the fact that, because we are screen to screen versus face to face, and you get so into using that technology that it's like when you see a cool comment pop up, you almost want to screenshot it or you almost want to grab it. And it's like, no, 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 no. That's actually a real moment
yeah,
between
it's
real people. It's not tech, but it
yeah,
is.
yeah. I mean, I think with uh, ephemeral things, they're just meant to be fleeting. But it's nice when you actually have something tangible for a moment to grab onto, and so yeah, I know it's a beautiful thing, and here we are, doing it again. I don't think I'll stop doing this. I think once live
That's
music comes
cool.
back in full, I I enjoy doing this equally as much. The weird part is just going back after I do this, and I just get to go into my kitchen and
Yeah, go whip up
not
dinner,
into a green room, and
having
yeah,
drink.
with like hummus and carrots and stuff like that. Now I actually can have something decent. So.
Bottled water, case of Heineken, hummus, and carrots. Yeah, that sounds familiar. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's coming
But now
back.
I
I
have my.
mean,
I actually do. I have my jam cellars wine right here, so that's nice in the green room again.
oh, cheers! I've got my butter shard over here off camera, so I agree. I partake as well. And that's what the fun thing is about the Jam Happy Hours, and especially with the Sweet Relief Fun, is that we can come together and we can enjoy music. Maybe somebody's getting to know you for the first time right now, and judging off that one song, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, you definitely seem to have kind of like a, it's not a throwback, but what did you listen to as a kid? Because there's something in your music that's just very like timeless and classic.
Nirvana. That's what I listened to as a kid. So
That is not what I was going for
I
there.
try to I try to implement all
Well, there you go.
into every song I play. I try to implement some of that.
I love it.
No, no, not kidding though, because I mean I feel like there's something that was one of the first songs I learned on guitar, and it was such a cool riff. So then I actually feel like when I started writing songs first off, I was like, man, I gotta come up with a cool guitar riff that's as cool as that. Um,
Always.
but then when I started writing more songs, as far as when I was old, I didn't really start writing songs till I was 19, and by that time, I had an uncle who turned me on to a bunch of older recordings, and then kind of gave me a music history of stuff that I might not have been privy to. So then I listened to that stuff, and a lot of great songwriters and just guitar players and stuff. And at the time, I was just like, wow, there's no way that I'll ever be able to do anything close to that. And I still feel that way. So that's why I keep writing music.
Well, and you picked up the guitar. I mean, it wasn't like something that you gravitated right towards like as a kid. Like you picked it up like a little bit later on. Um, how did you were you self-taught? Did you go in on lessons? I mean, obviously, you know, the guitar is super important in your music and in your writing, but were you drawn to the guitar?
I always thought guitar was cool. When I'd see it on
Yeah.
TV, I saw people like, I had no idea how the hands were making that sound.
Hmm.
I just, I saw John in that way. But even still, like, I like all instruments. My first instrument was actually the trumpet, and so I started playing that in the school band. And
Hmm.
I feel that the reason that I always like I still play the trumpet a little bit, but it's because it was very melodic. You don't have there's no harmonies involved, at least on its own. You're finding melodies, and together you can create harmonic stuff with other things. But I feel like learning that at a young age made me see the value of melody, and so then I tried to like. I don't know. I think somehow that got into my unconscious. When I first started picking up the guitar, and still too, it's just I just thought of it as like a drum with chords to it. So I would just bang away on it and then just find melodies. And then eventually I learned that I should probably try to finesse it a little more. So that's what I'm still trying to do.
You do have to be nice to it every now and then. But that's interesting.
Yeah.
The way that you describe music is also very interesting. It's almost very visual in the sense of, obviously being melodic and harmonies and stuff like that, but also with, looking at how things work, like very much into deconstructing how to make the sound. And, then you listen to, I know because you've been doing music since like '06. Like you've been at this for quite some time. And if people aren't familiar with Matt, like go deep dive back into some of the older albums. But, it's a multi-layered sound. It's not just like a one thing. Like, is that something that you do with intention?
I mean, probably not. I probably should stick to one thing, I feel like I might be more successful if I just like stuck to one thing. Instead, I try to like come up with all these different sounds, and then I'm just like, well, I guess I just wrote this song that has nothing to do with anything else I've ever written. But I don't know. I just like it. I try to write stuff that I've never written before, or just like it does become very visual to me. So. That's what I just try to do, is try to make stuff that paints pictures in my mind, and hopefully it comes across to other people. I mean, I know we don't all see the same thing, but hopefully it gets close to there.
Do you think of songwriting as storytelling?
Yeah, I do. I definitely, I think that songwriting has taught me to play guitar and telling a story with notes, and then it also taught me to pay attention to stories and story writing. And I did read this like one book one time, and it was talking about like after I had written a lot of songs, and it was like some person who had written a bunch of famous songs like in the 80s, and then they were basically saying that to be a good songwriter, you got to be a good writer first, and pay attention to that. So then I basically started thinking of it like that, like putting the guitar away and not being so focused on just like trying to play the guitar. But I don't know. I think it's all valid. Like if sometimes the words fail you, the notes fill it in, and sometimes vice versa too. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean, sometimes just the vibe of a song can take you somewhere completely different than the words of a song.
Yeah. I even think that like that person who wrote the songs was like a famous song, or I'm certain they wrote songs for Bette Midler and stuff. And my dad went to high school with Bette Midler, and so I was always fond of Bette Midler, and like I remember Beaches made me cry when I was a kid. So
oh my God, it still makes me cry. What are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, I stay away from it for that reason, because I just don't want to like.
If you need a good cry, put on Beaches.
I was a little kid and it made me cry, and so.
You are the wind beneath my wings, Matt.
So good, I know. When you write that song, whew. One day I'll write a song like that if I'm lucky. So.
Well, speaking of songs, I know people are on here and they're anxious to watch you do what you do oh so well. Could you play us a couple more songs?
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Know that I'm dreaming, don't you wake me. I know that I'm dreaming, if you do, won't you please just do it slow, 'cause I don't want this to go. And I know I could cause a lot of trouble, but I'm just trying to hold on to this thing when I know it should let go, should let go, should let go. let it slip away. Yeah, if we do, the day would understand. But if you're a dream and I'm the night, then we'll walk hand in hand. Now if you wake me, won't you please just do it slow, 'cause I don't want this to go. Now someone set a fire in your room here. It's fucked up, but I'm drawn into the flame when I see it burning slow, burning slow, burning slow. Burning slow. Burning slow. Burning slow. The night that we find ourselves together, the night that you fall into my arms, when I know we should let go, should let go, should let go. Let it slip away. Yeah, if we do, the day would understand. But if you're a dream and I'm the night, then let us just both be damned. Now if you wake me, won't you please just do it slow? If you wake me, won't you please just do it slow? Said if you wake me, won't you please just do it slow? 'Cause I don't want this to go. No, I don't want this to go. No, no. I stare, your glare is killing me. I stare in skies of blue. The signs you wear are making me so confused. But the mountains and the trees, are they just what you need, or are they less than what you'd expect to see? And if you're leaving, welcome, give me a reason why I let you down before you turn around. Now, before you turn around. I stare, you're there and I'm still here. I swear I'm so confused. The signs you wear are making me feel like I'm the one to lose. But the canyons and the seas, are they just what you need, or are they less than what you'd expect to see? And if you're leaving, welcome, give me a reason why I let you down before you turn around. Now, before you turn around. Now, Mountains and the trees, are they what you perceive, or are they less than what you'd expect to see? And if you're leaving, welcome, give me a reason why I let you down before you turn around. Now, before you turn around. Before you turn around.
There is just something so calming and like relaxing and lovely about your music. I know Julie had just made the comment that every time she listens to your music, she just wants to go to the beach.
Oh yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Let's go.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I know the beach is a big influence on you. I mean, you've grown up around the water most of your life. Some different coasts sometimes, which we talked about pre-show. Do you think that's something that's had a big influence on the music that you put out there? Do you have like that kind of vibe in mind when you're making your music?
No, I don't think that, but I do think that there's just like a connection to the water that I've just that I've always loved. I'm also scared of it at times, and I'm also just like also fascinated by it, thinking it's the ocean is a really powerful thing, So like
yeah.
a song can move you or calm you. I feel like it can do both of those things, and I've had the privilege too to be around them through my music too. I think some of my songs being in surf films and skateboard films and things like that. So I think writing stuff that has like accompanied that and been with that movement is something that like I always that's inspiring too, because I think the movement of picture to music, and especially people riding waves, doing that stuff or whatever it is, it's like it takes on a whole new life. So in that way, it's really inspiring. And
You can be having
I
the
do love
worst
going to
day
the beach.
ever and just go to the beach and everything is better. So like you're saying, the power of the water, the power of the salt and the air, and just the natural rhythm of, life and earth, like it's all right there in that one spot. So has to have had, an influence on what you're doing, on what you're putting out there. I think that's really cool.
Well, yeah, I think it does. In fact, I want to go to the beach today. I live pretty close to it right here, but we'll
So
see.
unfair.
We'll see what it's like when this goes down. So.
What was the name of that last song you just did?
That's a song called "A Stare."
That's from '06. That's from the original. That's from Songs We Sing. What is it like when you have a song that's had 16 years of life? What is it like to perform that song, and does that song change over time for you, or do you go back to the original place that you were in when you wrote it?
Yeah, there are some things in my mind, like when I wrote it, feelings that I had. Well, I've carried it with me a lot, so it definitely has taken on new experiences as I've lived with it. And I feel lucky to be able to have carried that song around with me and be able to just have it be my pal for a little while.
Does it
as
feel
long as
like
I'm
16 years?
I mean, no, it doesn't feel like 16 years. Wow. Sometimes 16 years is when it came out. So when I wrote it too, it was a couple years before that, which is even trips me out, because I think
That makes her 18 and legal.
I mean, yeah. this song is, it could be a full grown adult. So.
It is a full grown adult, musically speaking.
Yeah, so I do get tripped out about that. Sometimes I forget, and I always wake up every day just like when I sit down to play my guitar, hoping that I could still remember what I'm doing. And then when I actually have when I think about, wow, okay, I've done this for that long, then I'm like, well, I've got no excuse, so I better remember how to play this song.
There's that, yeah. I mean, you hear of artists that have their lyrics written in front of them because they can't remember what they are, but I feel like you don't have that issue.
Well, I have there's a whole wall here that you can't see of all my lyrics, so they're all posted up on there. And Funny thing about this song is when I first wrote it, I was at like I would go to poetry nights and open mic nights,
Hmm.
and I just wrote this song, and I was at a poetry night open mic, and after I played it, this poet guy came up to me. He was a bit older, and he goes, I really like that song. He goes, but I think that you should call it Your Stare, not A Stare. He's like, I think it makes more sense to say that. And I was like, all right, well, I'll consider that. But I had already recorded the song at that point, and
Like, we're not changing it.
so I took it, and years and years went by, and I saw him again at another event. There was another like a book reading situation in Long Beach, and I went up to him. I said, "Hey," I was like, "I remember you from 15 years ago at the open mic poetry nights, and you told me that I should change the title of this song." And he's like, "Yeah, well, did you do it?" And I said, "No, I never did, but I remember your request, and I definitely considered it, because I
To
think
make
that
him
they."
feel really good.
Well, I don't think there's any right or wrong way to do something. It's just your way. So if he's got his way of doing it, and then, I've got my way of doing it. They both have their place. So.
Well, and since then, numerous albums and EPs and songs and tours and life and experiences that all, culminated, I guess, into like the most recent, which came out, in this pandemic. Lord, I look forward to not saying that word anymore. But in 2020, here you are putting out music that, I mean, obviously you're inspired by more than just, music in the ocean. You talked about, art, you talk about books, you talk about poetry, like finding the inspiration for songs in 2020. Where do you think you drew the most from?
Well, yeah, I think that record was really personal, and I think it was a lot of overcoming challenges, and who knew right around the bend was something that was universal that we'd have to overcome. So songs like Make That Change or When the Avalanche Comes, these things that I felt, or Let Love Heal, stuff like that. They were songs that were personal mantras to myself. And so when when 2020 hit, I felt like I actually wasn't going to release those songs.
Really?
Originally, I had they were just personal to me, and I guess
Huh.
yeah, when it I guess I didn't really plan on making a record, and my friend he had heard them, and he's like you should definitely put out a proper record with these, and so I did, and then all the stuff hit the fan, and I had a record, and then I was also like, well, these songs mean a lot to me, and I also feel like, well, how do I do shows around it now? How do I connect with people? Because I feel like these songs would really connect, and so it was a lot of doing performances like this, and I think that if I didn't have that record at that time, to focus on, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot harder, because I think that I basically had that as a life raft to sort of
A distraction.
put my energies into. Yeah. So.
Which, so many people can relate to it, especially, at that time, going through everybody's challenges. Life always happens in its own timing, and everything happens for a reason. And I know those things are very, played out, but I also find them to be very, very true. So I think probably by putting that out, like you said, not only did it life raft you, I think it probably did the same for like many of your fans too. So now when you go back out on the road and you are back out touring again, like, are these songs that you're looking forward to having that connection with?
Yeah. I mean, I think yeah, I definitely am. I think that there's a place that every record has for me, and always I always find myself, there's always like my first record, and then the one that I'm doing currently, and everything else in between. I'm just like, it's sort of a blur, because I think about where I started, and it was all the path to get where I'm at now. And so definitely, I'm excited to always continue to play these songs. I think that for that reason, what we all went through during that time, they mean a lot more to me, because I feel like that not only were they a life raft for me, but I think an olive branch into everyone else too, who might have felt like there was an internal war going on.
Oh, that's very good wording on that. And if you look at Matt's Instagram, you do perform and connect and put it out there for your fans to be able to still see you perform these songs and perform, some of your older songs too. And like we discussed earlier, like, you've really kind of become a fan of that, because it is that instant connection where it's not across a room and you don't have to worry about anybody like coughing or sneezing on you, which is silly, now at this point. But, you are that connected. It is literally like, you're in my home, I'm in your home. Like, I think it's a really cool thing that's come out of all of this. And I'm glad that you said you were going to keep doing it.
Yeah. I'd love to. I mean, there's I feel like it's something that I never dreamed of. Actually, we were talking earlier as we were sound checking for this, and you're in Orlando, and I don't know if I'm supposed to disclose that or not.
Oh, I no. So we were talking off camera before, and Matt and I realized that we lived like 2 streets apart. So it's a very small world. That's for sure.
When I was growing up there, I remember seeing like at Disney and stuff like that, seeing how there would be big screens and everyone would be communicating through. That was the first place I saw it. I know like all the science fiction novels and stuff. Ray Bradbury and stuff, Chaplin, all that stuff.
Of it like that.
But like, it was the first time that I saw it. I was like, wow, is this gonna happen? And here we are. Like, it's happening. And I also think too, that's one of the reasons why all this. There's a lot of tech advances that we're all living through, but I feel like one of the reasons why I've always liked playing the acoustic guitar or having my songs sit on that or rest there is because it doesn't matter where I'm at, I can always just sit down and play them and not have to rely on that stuff, even though our daily lives revolve around it now.
So there's so much tech around me right now.
Me too.
I can appreciate. That's why I appreciate analog. I still like to get dirty and splice tape, and like you said, be acoustic, and to keep like the basics. Because
can you produce my next record?
I would be thrilled to, or at least attempt to try.
Okay,
we'll just have fun doing that. So. Before we jump into a couple more songs, I want to remind everybody we are here benefiting the Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, which is a great fund that helps, front of the house, back of the house, musicians, everybody in this entertainment industry that have hit hard times. That's what this fund is for. And Jam Cellars is donating $1 for every like, every share, every comment. So if you want to just like write one comment that says hi, and the next comment is Matt, that's $2. That's $2 right there. So, make sure you're commenting, liking, and sharing. And we're going to jump in on a couple more songs here with Matt Costa, if you are ready to go.
Oh yeah, I got to remember what I was going to play. I got so.
I know you were going. You said you were going to do it on the fly. So
yeah, I always do that. Good thing I don't have my band with me. They normally get kind of. Some of them love it and some of them hate it when I call out songs on the fly. So
I think it's great.
All right. Well, let's see here. All right, I got you. She was the rain dancing in puddles. She was trouble. Me with the games I played was a puzzle, but I loved her. It's true. Now I know what love can do. Once we were young and lived dangerous, but the rains poured down. They started to change us. We both grew so ancient, singing in circles around our golden cherubs of sorrow. I tried to bury them all in the backyard with a shovel, but I only dug myself a hole. Once we were young and lived dangerous, ancient. So there we were, familiar strangers, when the rains poured down. Heaven knows why she changed her mind, or she saved her goodbyes over cloudy skies. We tried with clipped wings to fly. She was the rain dancing in bubbles. She was trouble. Once we were young and lived dangerous, but the rain poured down. It started to change us. Both grew so ancient. So there we were, familiar strangers, when the rains poured down. Heaven knows why she changed her mind, or she saved her goodbyes over cloudy skies. We tried with clipped wings to fly. I can do one more here too if you want. No, people were saying they liked songs we sing, so I can do some songs off that. I'll play what will I play? I'll play a little bit of Behind the Moon here. I would shine just like a million suns if you just love me, baby. I'll be in your life again, so baby, baby, just say maybe. Now here I come to dance around the sun. I've been oh so blue, stuck behind the moon. Now let me in, back where we begin, and let me hold you like the way I used to do. All the stars point me to you, and lately they just drive me crazy. The universe can be so cruel, so baby, baby, be my lady. Now here I come to dance around the sun. I've been oh so blue, stuck behind the moon. Now let me in, back where we begin, and let me hold you like the way I used to do. Now here I come to dance around the sun. I've been oh so blue, stuck behind the moon. Now let me in, back where we begin, and let me hold you like the way. Now let me hold you like the way. Now let me hold used to do. I used to do. I used to do. I used to do. My sweet rose, as the two of us grow, I want you to know that nothing's quite as bad as it seems when you're so sad. So remember my rose, remember my rose, my sweet rose. I'd like to say no one always gets their way, and no one always thinks the same. My rose, remember my rose. When the seasons change and the sky turns grey, when the leaves turn brown, I'll be around. My sweet rose, as the two of us change, well, I want you to know that nothing stays the same, but you and I, we will remain. My rose, remember my rose. I just figured I'd throw that in there real quick.
I don't think anybody was mad at that, honestly. So I'm glad you did. Though we were talking earlier about guitar lines and like the driving guitar and that being like part of like the early songwriting and the kind of inspiration to like get into guitars with all the Nirvana riffs and that. Behind the Moon, you can totally hear that.
Oh yeah, I definitely think there's. Yeah, that's what made me think of that. I was like, what is some of my early influences? And I was going.
Yeah.
It's very similar walking up, except. There's a slightly different inversion there, but I think it was also a combo of there's also an old band from like a trio called the Kingston Trio.
Kingston Trio, yeah.
Yeah, and so there was also a song of theirs called Greenback Dollar, which I think was a cover, but they had a song which I might have mentioned it before this was an influence, but it was like some people say I'm a no count. Others say I'm no good, but I'm just a natural born. That one, I think,
that's
a combo of those two were like my original influence to that song.
There's just something that just happens to your heart, like, when a good riff comes in like that, and it's kind of got like a driving thing to it. I mean, whether you're in a bad mood or you're in a great mood, it's just going to, like, if you're in a bad mood, it's going to make you in a better mood, and if you're in a great mood, it's just going to make you like bigger. So, I mean, what's not to love about having that kind of just like music, like just like as with all of your music, it's like it's kind of hard to be in a bad mood when it's on.
Well, that's cool. That's nice of you to say. It definitely is transcendent for me too in that way. If I sit down and I'm feeling in a funk, then it doesn't even matter. I don't even have to play anything that sounds good. I could just like noodle around and try to find something, and it definitely puts me in a better place.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think also something else, like I was looking at your Instagram earlier, I think probably something else that puts you in a good place. I still can't believe you are still all over that skateboard. What?
Oh, yeah.
No pads, nothing. You're just doing crazy things.
Yeah, that's true. I got into songwriting because I broke my leg really bad when I was 19.
That'll slow you down.
It did. I mean, I couldn't even. I had to learn how to walk again after about 2 years of being like laid up.
That's a break.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was a compound fracture, and I still have a plate in there too that's screwed in.
Wow.
Originally there were screws, and then those weren't holding. It re-broke when I tried to walk on it, and then they had to put a plate in there. So I still got a plate in there, which when the board jumps back at me and hits it definitely hurts a little bit more.
You realize you're a little crazy for still being out there doing the flips and the tricks and the.
I mean, I don't do anything that's like I see a lot of people really pushing it, and I I always wish that I could be that good. Certain
I
days
think
I
you
get
look
out
pretty
there.
great.
Certain days I try to do more than what I think I should, and it's still nothing. It pales in comparison. But I like doing it. You know, I've always liked skateboarding, and so I think when I was young too, when I got my first guitar, which was an electric guitar,
Mhm.
um, when I learned those riffs, I got a skateboard the same year, and I was 11 years old. But then eventually, I ended up giving like trading my guitar for a pair of shoes and a skateboard, which really only lasts you for about a month.
Oh,
Um, but I traded it, and and then I was able to skate it for a month more, and I didn't have a guitar anymore. And so then I would have just go to my friends' places who had guitar, and I would just practice my Nirvana riffs and stuff.
and
But
how ironic it ends up that all of a sudden you have free time literally on your hands,
yeah,
and you go back to
yeah,
the guitar.
yeah, and then I go back to the skateboard now. I really think doing music for me is just a way for me to live out my dreams of being like a skateboarder for a living. So that's why I get out there and do that. And it's actually it's really fun. So
Well, you
and I get
seem,
hurt a little bit, but it doesn't like
yeah.
hopefully I fall and I'll like kind of tweak my wrists a little bit, but um you know it's worth it. So
You seem so happy. You seem like you're having the time of your life when you're out there. I'm just like, oh dear God, I can't watch. But you know, you can definitely tell you're lighter, and I think that's what you give to other people with your music. And when they listen to your music, they get to feel a little bit lighter too. So I think it just like kind of all comes together.
well, that's really nice of you to say. I yeah, I just feel I do feel lucky to be able to have the experience of doing all this stuff, and honestly too, it's really like I think it's always been those things have been my means of connection and
Hmm.
relating to people my whole life. So um, yeah, to be able to have that as a way of communication and relating to people, and then from there having new experiences, and I definitely owe I think all of my basically being to those two things. I think most of the people I've met who have influenced my life in one way or another, not it's not directly related to those, but I think they were definitely part of the path, and so
Sure.
so I think that it's been really positive to me, and so I think I always try to pass that on to other people too.
Well, you definitely have a healthy respect for it for sure. And I'm just curious, like on days where, let's say, you know, Matt Costa is not having the best day and you can't get out and you can't skate, like who do you like to listen
Oh,
to kind of help bring you up? Like, can you turn us on to anybody new, or just like what is your like go to make me feel better music?
my go-to make me feel better music. Um,
Because like
well,
for us, it's you. So
oh,
who do you listen
well.
to?
I mean, I like to listen to. I don't even. I'm trying to think of who was on my. Today I was listening to my friend Peter Matthew Bauer. He was in a band called The Walkmen, and he has some solo records, and so I was listening to him today. Um, and let's see. Um, I also was listening to a bunch of like cumbia music that I got turned on to through my friend Adam Topol. He's a drummer, and he's studied down in he's studied down in Central South America,
Hmm.
like different rhythms and stuff. And so
Got to
he's
watch those
turned.
drummers.
Oh, well, yeah, that's how it always is. Actually, I know they're tricky,
They're a
but
special breed.
they really are. They really are. But honestly, like I actually, I feel like two of my real closest friends are drummers. So my
It
friend
says a
Corey
lot about
Gash.
you.
Yeah, I know, it does. My friend Corey Gash, who plays drums with me most of the time, and then
Hmm.
also Adam Topol, who is really just like he's a real genius when it comes to those syncopated rhythms. So I got turned on to a lot of more kind of complex rhythms through him. And the other day I was listening to these cumbias that are these kind of psychedelic cumbias from '60s and
Hmm.
stuff.
You have to put some of those up on your Instagram page. I would definitely do a deep dive into that.
Oh yeah, It's really beautiful stuff. I did a trip recently down to Mexico. I was in Oaxaca, and so I went down there with my friend my friend Jordan Lovelace, and he is an incredible filmmaker. I just want to give him a little shout because he told me to. That's why. So
that's why.
Yeah. And so I said, I'm gonna be on NBC here, and I'm gonna give you a shout out or whatever it is. But he he went down there with me, and we had a real incredible time down there, and we're working on a film right now.
Exciting.
Based on our trip. And so I think a lot of the history of that music in that area I've been really exploring, and
I bet the food too.
Oh yeah, the mole is very good. Yeah, lots of good food.
I want to mess with Matt's brain a little bit for everybody who's watching along. If you have a favorite song you haven't heard yet, just throw them up in the comments, because that's going to raise money for Sweet Relief, and then when we start throwing them up on the screen, it's going to it's going to trigger his brain a little bit. So comment, request your favorite songs. We have time for a couple more, and again, we're raising money for Sweet Relief and Musicians Fund, which is such a great cause too. So
yeah, throw it up on there, and I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
And I'll do my best to really butcher it.
So we got all right.
All right. Well, the first one is Sunshine. Should I just do a medley of all of them?
I think I would love to see it.
Okay. Well, as they come in,
acting like a fool.
Okay. All right. As they come in, I'll try to do a little. I'll do a little medley here.
This is going to be amazing.
Never Looking Back. All right. I can only. Wow. This is.
You can't go too far ahead.
Yeah. All right, Mr.Pitiful. Wow,
I told you we were gonna mess with this brain.
There's some here. I've had just enough of that jam wine to really just make a fool of myself right now. So I'll play acting like a fool into whatever comes next. I've collected all my things, put them all in boxes. Does that sound about right? I've collected all my things, put them all in boxes. I'll pay off all my dues, I don't care what the cost is. We're acting like a fool. From a different city I was looking at the changes. Everything looks the same, but it's me that feels the strangest. What am I supposed to do when I'm head to toe in lies? In a broken city with the nights hungover eyes. Sunshine, I'd really like to tell you, oh my sunshine. Though your skies are blue, you're drying up my bed. How can I get any rest now? Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. And someday you will get the best of me, oh, someday, probably when I'm old and gray, I'm lying in my bed, and I will soon be put to rest now. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. I've been waiting, pacing along the halls ever since you left here. I've been cleaning, scrubbing the plates and weeding out the garden, dear. I can't fall asleep to your mystery slowly blowing from the shore. I have not failed to be what you'd expect of me, swallowing glass just to it's alright, 'cause tonight there's a feather falling on my street. There's a glow of the lights giving me hope that you'll be by my side. To look behind your eyes, hear the things that no one knows, see beyond the noise, to feel the moon, at least to try. In the fields, through the dawn, there's a town that still holds my arm. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I had to end it with that because I got so distracted by the Chumbawamba comment. And I tried to put as many in there as possible as I could at one time. Burnt trees on a snowy path, all my friends are far behind. I'm stuck with you tonight, but I'd be better alone. So come on, wheels, take me far away, where I don't have debts to pay. I can't count on yesterday to find my way home. That's all I can remember of those off the cuff. There you go. That's a medley of medleys right there, if I could ever do one for you.
Yep. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the Chumbawamba line. That took me off too. But mission accomplished. We got a ton of comments up there. We got to mess with your brain a little bit, and we got to end on a beautiful medley. And this hour went by so fast, Matt Costa. I hope if the planets align and the waves allow, we can do it again sometime. It just went by way too quick.
I would love that. It did go by very pleasantly. So thanks for having me. It started off well because we just reminisced on like basically that we're from the same hood. So
it's so cool. Crazy how that worked out, and I look forward to listening and learning more about you and what you're doing, and obviously I hope we can catch up in Napa sometime. At the beautiful Jam Cellars, which again part of the reason why we're here is we are raising money for Sweet Relief. So throw all your thank yous up in the comments for Matt for performing that incredible medley for you guys. That'll raise more money with $1 for each comment and like. And then also keep following at Jam Cellars, because pretty soon we're going to have more Bottle Rock Napa Valley Music Festival giveaways coming up, which is always fun. And then, of course, cheers to the great wine and bringing us all together, and to Matt, most importantly. Thank you for your time and thank you for your talent.
Well, most importantly, thank you to you and thank you to all the fans. So here's a cheers to that, and may you all have a very, 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 very pleasant weekend here, and from my family and home to yours, over and out.
Cheers.